So before we start this video, I just want to say that it's been a while since I've actually run a gun build and actually enjoyed it. I'm basically known as one of the biggest connoisseurs of the AFK build, where I love to sit in cover, snack, clean my kitchen while my skills do all the work and down enemy NPCs. And for the longest time, it seemed like, a lot of the gun builds never really interested me. And I got a tip from a buddy of mine, Bullhanger, and he said, hey, you need to check out my build and share it with the community. So, as I always say, steal this build, use it for your own purposes. If you love SMGs, I think there are so many combinations you can run, because I didn't even have the exact pieces that he did, and I took it and I put a spin on it. And even what made this better was I was able to use the AUG as one of my weapons. I think I use it as a secondary. Now, the build that was shared with me with Bullhanger and the community, and that's what I want to convey to you, is a build that is made up of 4 pieces of Hunter's Fury, 1 Circle of Concern, and you're gonna use your Lady Death SMG. This is an exotic SMG, and if you do not have one, you're a new player and you're wondering, where do I get these exotic weapons from? I'm just gonna encourage you to go ahead and use the targeted loot to farm and farm and farm, and at some point you're going to get yourself a Lady Death SMG. That's one of the really cool things. Or as you're running through missions with people, ask them if somebody gets an extra one, you're gonna get one from them too. I mean, extras drop all the time. Even as I beat this mission, I got an extra Imperial Dynasty just a second ago. It's insane how exotics really come to you, as even when you're not thinking about it. And so what this Lady Death did with his gameplay video, which I'm going to show you as we're talking about this build, is it basically ran a shield and tore through this entire, heroic mission. And again, one of the really beautiful things was I was actually watching him do it live. In fact, he streamed it through Discord to show me. And once he was done showing me, I was like, yup, this build is going on YouTube. And I think the reason this build will resonate more is there is a level of player type or player archetype in this community that is very aggressive. If you guys know some of my really cool buddies, Shadow Gaming, he's a very aggressive gamer. Another, my buddy High on Fun Dip. These guys play an aggressive play style. So a lot of the builds that you're going to see me sharing from them are builds that pretty much have that kind of archetype to it. And an SMG build using Lady Death is basically a run and gun build, because the Lady Death grants you the breathe free. This says when moving, gain 4 stacks per second, or 8 stacks if sprinting, up to 32 stacks total. Each round fired consumes a stack, amplifying damage by 75%. Kills grant 20% movement speed for 10 seconds. That movement speed, you just running. And another thing that's really good about the movement speed is if you're getting focus fired, you can move a little faster and get yourself into cover to maneuver enemy damage as it's coming to you. This is one of the beautiful, the beauties of the Lady Death, and this is why I think a lot of people use it even in PvE. And in PvP, yes, it is still decent. I've been looking around and I've seen some content creators, I've seen Kamikaze Von Doom actually highlight this in the PvP side. You guys know I'm not into PvP in any stretch with the Division 2. I do my PvPing somewhere else, but I would say for sure that this weapon has actually, impressed me in this mission run. And I will put this gameplay also for you guys to be able to take a look at, so that you guys can see where I switched to the the AUG. I even also started, because I know many people may be asking, so what other SMGs might work? I started out the mission using the Chatterbox, but the Chatterbox's slower rate of fire was not necessarily impressive. I could feel the difference in the 25 RPM compared to, say, the AUG, which had basically, almost 40,000, more. Is it 40? Yeah, it looks like it's almost 40,000 more base damage than the Chatterbox. And this one that I got has strained. I think I picked it up during the mission and I said, you know what, let me fire this AUG up and let me see what it's doing. And boy, all that critical hit damage that I'm doing, it's just interesting and beautiful to see. Now, I have to say, trying to replicate the build, I didn't have the right skill on the backpack. He had Unstoppable Force, but this Cheska backpack that I have, I can't argue with it. It has Bloodsucker, and I could have gone to roll critical hit damage on there to be able to gain more, but I wanted to leave it because you never know. Unstoppable Force is the choice of talent that you want to run here, because you're going to get much more of an armor stack in terms of how it works with this build. So from Bloodsucker, I didn't see much of a gain, honestly, because my armor is really low. So killing an enemy adds and refreshes a stack of 10% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Max stack is 10 seconds. So my playstyle did not necessarily let me leverage it too much. I guess that's what I should say. Bloodsucker is also pretty good. I'm just saying my playstyle, I found myself always retreating when this playstyle is actually a run and gun. So I had to remind myself, hey, get out of cover, go ahead and, you know, keep shooting. You know what I mean? Because I'm really used to a very conserved playstyle. Now, the beauty of Hunter's Fury as well is that you get 15% shotgun damage in 2 pieces. You get 15% SMG damage also in 2 pieces. This is what we are looking for. That 15% weapon damage that really will do a good job. The 20% armor on kill, the 100% health on kill, and these are some of the really cool things. And then the 4-piece, which is Apex Predator. This says enemies within 15 meters receive a debuff, amplifying your weapon damage against them by 20%. This is multiplicative. This is a lot of weapon damage on this build. And then if you kill a debuffed enemy with your weapon, it disorients other enemies within 5 meters and amplifies weapon damage by 5% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Now, again, I said I took a spin on this. In his build, if you notice from what I'm showing you, he had a Circle of Concern knee pads. Now, I didn't have a pair of Circle of Concern knee pads, and in fact, I don't think I needed it because I had the Firm Handshake. The Firm Handshake is a named Circle of Concern pair of gloves that gives you 15% status effect. So I bought myself like 3 or 4 of these from the vendor. I think there was a week where he was selling it, and I got myself a few. So I'm leveraging you know, the status effect aspect too, where you know, my enemy NPCs that basically, you know, gain some kind of a, you know, a status effect. Say I shoot their backpack, say I shoot their you know, their what's it called, riot foam, whatever. Especially with these what are their names, the True Sons, they have all these things, and so that basically, you know, allows for them to gain more of that, you know, status effect. And then if I kill a debuffed enemy, that enemy gets the other enemies get a disorient, and that disorient is also being amplified as well by my 15% status effect that I have. It's not necessarily a huge significance. 15% doesn't seem like a lot, but that split second might be the thing that basically changes the entirety of the game for yourself. And if you notice, Mr. Bullhanger recommended that I test this build out using the firewall specialization because of the extra bonus that you're getting from the firewall specialized shield, which is pretty much a very solid shield in its own sense. It gives you basically a lot more, I would say a lot more damage resistance because it's the specialization's own, you know, skill in that aspect. And then another thing that I did enjoy from it too is the firewall perk, where if an enemy NPC or if an enemy damages your armor, they all light in flames. So that gave me a little bit of time to be able to backtrack whenever I found myself in a little bit of trouble. And this was something that I definitely enjoyed for this build. So all of the build you know, information so far I've shared. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comment section below. If you have any recommendations, if you have any alternatives, if you have any ideas, add them. This incentive is designed for a lot of the community to continue to engage in conversation around the build and also help new players. And also, enemy NPCs are hitting really hard, and so if you notice, my skill combination was actually not just the shield but the deflector you know, drone. And I must say, I don't necessarily know how much work this drone did for me, but I think, you know, from a lot of the bullet damage that I wasn't getting and the way the enemy NPCs are actually much more fine-tuned, I would say I got some sort of a benefit from it. Now, perhaps in the future, I would like to run a, you know, a much more powerful version of this with some other build, kind of a hybrid, to see what it does. But I really did enjoy it. I didn't use my armor kit for one moment because I had the armor on kill, you know, and I think there are so many modifications I can make to this build that are just flying through my brain using different pieces that I have. But like I said, I'm leaving that up to you, and you guys can go ahead and share that in the comment section. And if you want to share your build, click the link on the about section of this channel to join the Discord, you know, my Discord channel, and share your build over there. Send pictures, put it up there, and as I'm getting through them, I'll be making videos and exposing them to the community. Thank you so much for your time and audience, and hopefully we'll see in another video. Peace out.